friends, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be making my recipe on my moist carrot cake. I feel like people either like it or just don't like carrot cake. I happen to really love mine because it's super moist. The only difference is I'm not putting any nuts in it today because Jean's allergic to nuts, and I'm not going to put any raisins as well. And let's see. Okay, so there will be no butter. I can leave all the ingredients down below. And I'm using a smaller bowl to her KitchenAid because the bigger bowl is filled with cookie dough batter. All right, so let's see. We're going to start off with 1 cup of vegetable oil. And let's just hope this bowl holds it all. Okay, so I have the oil in there. Let's see. It's the oil and the sugars. So, 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And then I'm going to have to go grab 3/4 cups of white sugar. Okay, so here's the 3/4 white sugar. We're going to start creaming these together. I took this off because I have an attachment I brought with me that shredded all the carrots for me. So let's start incorporating this together. I want to get it nice and creamy. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with 2 teaspoons of vanilla. It's a very easy cake to put together. I already have my pans greased. Oven's on, it's preheated. Let's start incorporating this. You have to excuse the dogs here. And then we're going to go in with 1 egg at a time. It takes a total of 3 eggs. These are my chicken eggs. I'm just trying to be uber careful because the bowl is much smaller. Now, what makes my carrot cake different is the factor that I use sour cream. You can also use Greek yogurt if you like. So we're going to go in with 3/4 of sour cream. Okay, I'm using Thomas's phone and it keeps shutting off. So we're going to go in with 3/4 cups of sour cream. And that's what makes this so moist and delicious. So let me measure out 3/4. It's in the squeeze bag, of course. Use a spatula. I shall see how fast this actually comes together. So like I said, you could use Greek yogurt or you can use sour cream like I always do. I use a lot of sour cream in a lot of my baked goods. You want to get it smooth. Okay, that's starting to look pretty smooth. And then, let's turn this off a second so you can hear what I have to say. So, I washed and peeled all my carrots. I have a grater for the carrots. But if you're using like a box grater, make sure it's on the medium-sized holes. So this equals out to 2.5 cups of the carrots. You don't want to buy the ones in the bag, just grate them. You can get 3 round 6-inch cake pans or 2 to 3 round 8-inch cake pans. I'm using 2. I have right here that are already good to go and buttered. I'm not going to bother putting parchment on the bottom. And then our flour. Let me tell you the other ingredients that are in here. Okay, 2 cups all-purpose flour. You want to cup it and level it. You know how to do that. 2 teaspoons of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 teaspoon of clove. I don't put clove in mine. I do the cinnamon and the nutmeg. And we already did the vegetable oil. We did the brown sugar, the white sugar, 3 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and I did 3/4 a cup of sour cream. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remeasure from this bowl that I have exactly 2 cups of flour. This is just regular all-purpose flour. And we're going to go in. One cup that went in. This will be 2nd cup. I only had a tiny bit left. Flour is in there. Now we're going to go in with the 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Right there. And then a half a teaspoon of salt. And then the cinnamon is going to be 2 teaspoons. That's the one thing I didn't have measured out, so. Let me do this one over the sink, because you know, cinnamon goes everywhere. Okay, so I am using ground cinnamon, so 2 teaspoons. I'm using 1 tablespoon. That is going in. And then what else do I need to do? 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Make sure it's baking soda, not baking powder. I'm just going to try to level it. And then we just need 1 more. I usually do like pecans inside my carrot cake, but you know, someone in this house has a serious allergy to any type of nuts, so we're gonna omit the raisins and the nuts. And let me make sure. I think I put everything in there. Did the nutmeg, did the baking soda, so it's all in there. Now we just have to hope that the bowl doesn't fly everywhere. So I did my 2 teaspoons of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. You can do 1/8 of a teaspoon of clove if you like it. I don't care for it. And now we are going to go uber easy in trying to mix this. See what I mean? So let me make room. I made a humongous batch of cookies. I'm going to put the towel over it and hope for the best. I just usually turn KitchenAid off and on She didn't have a backup bowl, so this is her backup bowl, and it's just a little bit smaller. Okay, not too bad. But that's the little trick to it if you don't have the shield, is to just take your time and do it this way. There we go. We're going to incorporate all that in. Comes together fairly quickly. The oven is preheated on 350. Okay, that looks fully incorporated. We can either fold the carrots in, which is 2.5 cups, or we can let the machine do it and hope it doesn't overflow. Let's see. I might have grated a little extra. So it's 2.5 cups. That's one. This is the house of dogs, don't forget. Okay, that's the other half of carrots going in, which now we have to be uber careful because the bowl is pretty full. Okay, and now I just have the half that's left to fit in there. So, 2.5 cups of carrots going in. And that is the mix. Quick, easy, and then you can just distribute it. I mean, the old-fashioned way with carrot cake, I don't know if nobody knows this, but it was in just a regular pan. So I'm just going to scoop this up. Thomas's dog is eating a carrot. Okay, so let me get this mixed, and then we're going to spread it evenly into the pans. Pretty good. Okay. All done and mixed. And let me tell you why I have you on here. The icing. I'm doing cream cheese. Well, frosting. You know, whatever you want to call it. So what you'll need for the frosting is going to be... Let me think. Obviously, it's going to be cream cheese, which when I went to Sam's, I bought the big block. I thought it was like individual boxes of cream cheese. But, it's just going to be cream cheese frosting. And I will bring you back when I'm ready to whip up the frosting. In the meantime, let's give the bowl a scrape, and then we're going to spread these out between my two pans and scrape the paddle off. Okay, let me move the pans over here so you can see. Okay, here's my two pans, and I'm going to take this off. We're going to disperse this as evenly as possible between the two pans, which I lost some carrot. Just want to give it a scrape down and in the middle, and hopefully you can see. I'm going to try to do it as evenly as possible. just scrape the rest out of here. There we go. It's evenly distributed. I always see people touch their cakes when they're in the oven. Just use a toothpick to make sure the center comes out clean. But there is my version of my moist and delicious carrot cake going in the oven. 350. I think it's for 25 minutes. So let's get that in the oven. And then I can clean up my mess. Okay, on the center rack, let me show you. On the center rack, for about 20-25 minutes, just use a toothpick to test it to make sure it's done, and then I'll bring it back when I'm ready to make the icing. So I'll pull them out and show you, and then I'm gonna let them cool, and then we'll do the icing. So hang tight. Oops, my bad. 35 minutes, between 35 and 40 minutes. Like I said, it depends on your cake pans. So use a toothpick, insert it in the center. If it comes out dry, then it's done. Okay, let's check and see how the carrot cake is doing. May not be done just yet. Oh, not bad. Almost done. About another 5 more minutes and I'll be taking these out. Okay, I'm going to get ready to take the moist and delicious carrot cake out of the oven, and I'm going to let it cool, and then I will come back when we make the cream cheese icing. So let me show you what the carrot cake looks like. I'm just going to set it right up here. Let me double check the other one, make sure it's good to go. And it's good to go. And there it is, my friends. There's the 2 carrot cakes out of the oven. Like I said, I'm going to let them rest and cool in the pan. And then we'll get ready to make the cream cheese icing. So I will bring you back when I do that. We're just going to let these cool. And it smells delicious in here. So hang tight. Okay, let me turn you this way because I had to wash this bowl out because I made big batch chocolate chips in it. And I had to get the batter out that I didn't finish rolling or cooking off. Which I got a lot. Let me show you the baggie. If you saw that video of all the chocolate chip cookie dough that I made. This is gallon size baggie and it's like filled and ice cold because I pulled it out of the refrigerator. So I had Thomas help me put that in a baggie. We're going to dry this out because I really wanted to use this so that powdered sugar doesn't go everywhere. So we're going to need 1 stick of butter, softened. Okay, you can use unsalted butter. I'm using salted butter, that's room temperature. Let me get it open. And the block of cream cheese that I bought from Sam's that I thought was in individual boxes is not. So, I had to cut 8 ounces of cream cheese. So, what I'm going to do is start creaming the butter. I think with this one I'm just going to use the regular paddle. Put that on like so, and we're going to turn on and start creaming the butter. So it requires like 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm not putting salt in this because I'm using salted butter. Now I'm going to put the cream cheese in. 8 ounces, like so. And we're going to mix this up. Start creaming it. You want it really creamy, not like lumpy, if it's possible. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Let me scrape this down. Then we're going to go in with 4 cups of the confectionery sugar, but I want to make sure that this is blended really well. Make sure none of the cream cheese is stuck to the spatula. Just take a minute out. Try to get as much off as possible. Scrape down the bowl. Okay, and now I'm going to beat this some more. Just so that it's not that lumpy. So let's mix this some more. Now we're going to do the messy part. 4 cups of confectionery sugar. So, let me get a 1 cupper. Let's make sure that the confectionery sugar is not lumpy. Oh, looks pretty good. I think how I'm going to do it is just the 1 cup at a time and mix it slowly. And turn it up a little bit, start getting that worked in. So that was cup number 1. Let's do cup number 2. One way to avoid a mess. Just take your time. That's 3. And while I'm here, I'm going to scoop out the last and final cup, or cup number 4. Just trying to level it off a little bit. Let's mix this one in. I'll worry about scraping it at the end. Last and final cup, cup number 4. It's definitely a sweet treat for sure. And we're going to turn it up slowly. Now we're going to scrape down the sides. This is like really good on cupcakes. If you wanted to make the carrot cake into cupcakes, you could do it that way. If it's a little too thick, you can add a tiny bit more vanilla. So good. As a matter of fact, I'm going in with a little bit more vanilla. You can go from 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons. It's not exactly a full teaspoon, but just needs a little bit more vanilla. And we're going to let that run for a minute. Let's give her a taste. Very sweet. But it's a sweet little treat. If you wanted to thin it out with a little bit of milk, you could do like just a tablespoon to thin it a little bit. Let me back you up a hair so I can scrape the bowl down. This is one of the easiest icings to put together. Frosting, icing, whatever you want to call it. I have not taken my cakes out of the pan. Pretty thick. Okay. And that's the icing. Now, I want to work on this platter right here. Getting the cakes out and starting to put the cakes together. I'm not going to pipe it. I'm not going to do anything fancy smancy. What I am going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of the icing down on the bottom of the glass plate so it holds it like glue, and it'll keep the bottom from moving, and I will move you a little bit closer in a second. That's all I really do, just to hold it still so it's like the glue. My pies come right out. No parchment paper. I'm sorry, my cakes come right out. Look at the carrot in there. It's still a little steamy, so I'm going to put this part down and I'm going to let them cool just a little bit more before we go ahead and frost in the carrot cake. Okay, I only just started spreading some on there because I need the other one to cool. So it's pretty chilly willy here today. So I stuck it outside for a minute to get cooled off. This is the bottom. Like I said, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm going to put the top on and I'm going to ice in that. And I'll bring you back as soon as the top layer is completely cooled. Okay, I just brought this in from outside and this should definitely be cooled by now. So, let's get it out of the pan, which it should come right out. It's amazing when your cakes just come out in one pop. And there it is. You could do more layers if you want. Like I said, I'm not. And let's icing the rest of this. I technically made it for dessert tonight. So, I like using an offset spatula as well, but I don't think it's here with me. So you can just use a flat butter knife. And you know how it goes around here with dogs barking. Okay, they didn't bark for that long. What was I going to say? So this is thicker, obviously. Just spread it around the best you can. I like having the turntable, because then you can just keep spinning it as you're icing it. But since I put so much in the middle, I'm just spreading it out. And if you hear anything or anybody, that's Thomas in the living room. It makes the perfect amount of icing for cake or cupcakes. I'm just moving it from the middle down to the sides. You'll see why in a second. And then we're going to start doing the sides. So and all you gotta do is just put a clump on there and then just start spreading it out. You don't even have to do the sides if you don't want to. But I'm going to cover the whole thing. I don't worry about putting parchment paper down because I can just take a wet paper towel and clean the bottom of my glass plate here. Take it down as far as you can get it. Maybe you're not a cake person, like I said, you can turn this into cupcakes. And then just go around and check your sides. Add more if you need to. So I'm going to finish the bottom and then I'll bring you right back. Okay, so let me tell you. The object for me is I always try to just put some on the top and then just mainly work on the sides first. If there's any extra, we will put it on the top. But that's normally how I do it. I focus on the bottom and the sides. And I just go around and spread it out. And if I see a spot needs some, I just add some. Like so. Not bad. Okay. So a little bit left. Probably more than like a little bit, but let's scrape it out of the noisy bowl. I'm done with this big spatula. is about that much left in there. We're just going to scrape the bowl. Put it right on the top. No sense wasting it. This is really good to make for spring when your carrots are coming in from your garden. I bought carrots and I just thought I haven't had a carrot cake in a while. So, plus I don't think that I brought my recipe to the channel on making carrot cake. So, now we're just gonna spread out. Like I said, I would prefer an offset spatula for this. But we're just gonna spread it around. Take it to the edge. Just keep spinning whatever you put your cake on. Spread it down so that it's even. And then it all depends on how you want to do it. You want to make it fancy smancy, you can. I'm just going to go around it like so. Just make some smooth lines. Just like so. And there you go. So I usually will just go like this with offset spatula. Spread it around. Make sure it's not real thick in the middle. And that is good enough for me anyway. You can just even go straight and just smear it. Whatever you want to do as far as decorating it is concerned, you can. And then just give it wavy lines. Voila. And that, my friends, is the carrot cake. So let me get a paper towel, clean up around my edges. Whoops, that one was on me. Like I said, I'm not going to be too particular, but yet I'm being particular. We'll just clean it up a little bit. If you want people to know what it is, you could also do this. Hold on. You could take some of your extra carrot and maybe you grate it. There you go. Look at that cuteness. This would be great for Easter time. So I just put 4 little pieces. You can press it down with some extra carrot that I shredded. And there you go. That is my moist and delicious carrot cake. If you try this recipe, leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And that's my video today on my carrot cake. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you're new here, maybe think about subscribing. And I will catch you on the next video. Bye, everyone.